Hello and welcome, family, to another episode of Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How are you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways and that you're acclimatizing, family, to your new environment, to your new surroundings. Special shout out, of course, to our Patreon family. We appreciate, love you so much for supporting us on that platform and enabling us to continue to do what we do. Yeah, thanks to everyone that has subscribed to the channel as well. We appreciate, love you so much. So I've gotten so many questions in different ways about how do we read spirit? How do we read whether someone is a good vibe or a bad spirit? How do we know even within ourselves when it's a good spirit or a bad spirit that is that we're dealing with or that is approaching us? And family, that comes back to what the fundamentals of life. Because we're spiritual beings having a human experience, which means your life is emerging from your narrative, from within you. And everything that you are, you attract, family. And so that's why Babylon has wanted us to get all mixed up in their darkness, in their horror movies, and all of that kind of stuff, so that we would be open to those kind of lower level beings, those spirits that resonated with that, because our eye gates had seen that, and we absorbed that as part of our experience. There's a lot of research that's been done that shows that our mind cannot tell the difference between our dreams and reality. To our subconscious mind, they are one and the same. And so, this is why a lot of athletes actually have used this, once they discovered this, used it as an enhancement tool, or enhancement technique, where they will actually, visualize themselves doing the sport and watch themselves run, like with the mental, like a video game kind of vibe. And that will actually improve their speeds, stories for other days. But the way family, is to first recognize that you are a compass of your life. The compass is within your body. And there is a very clear way that your body, your mind, your spirit tells you when you're dealing with a benevolent being and when you're dealing with a wicked, evil being. There's a way you feel. And you have to reach a certain refinement and quietness in your life so that you can be able to tap into your compass and be able to read your compass accurately. Because you see, Babylon contaminated all of our narratives. They contaminated our spirits, family, by exposing us to things that did not exist in our narrative as African nations. We never had things like rape. I've talked about this so many times. Words for rape, word for murder, word for incest, words for molestation, words for robbery. We didn't have words like that because that was not part of our story. But the main agenda of Babylon has been to open us up through movies, through TV, through reading stories about people on the other side of the world it's really none of our business, being so involved in so many things that you have multiple gates open because you've absorbed multiple narratives. Entertainment is one of the most dangerous things because they're downloading their narratives, what they want to happen, what they want you to think about the world, into your spirit. And then your own narrative has to now do battle with all these other voices that are trying to tell you how life should be, what life looks like, what reality is. And that's where the insanity and madness comes from. Because, in the Gikuyu nation, Goma means on the one side madness, but on the other side it means the voices of your ancestors. And a lot of our rituals involved, we believed that a lot of the troubles, or we believe that a lot of the troubles and things that people encounter is because of this Goma, or this voice, these voices that are speaking into our lives. Before, it was just our ancestors' voices. Some would leave blessings for future generations, some would leave curses. And please check out the shows I did on, you know, ancestors, etc., and how I went to, you know, a spiritualist and what happened there. Because it's all about silencing the negative voices in your life. But now, because of the way the global Babylon system is set up, it's a blood sacrifice, vampiristic death, delusion, mental illness in general. That's the shape of it. That's the vibe, that's the foundation of it. That has now become a voice in our lives that we need to learn to silence, or even not have, but before we learn to silence it, we need to learn how to identify it. And I just shared that just to show you how these negative and nefarious voices entered our realm of existence, and why now we have negative spirits, wicked spirits, spirits of darkness and death and delusion and illness that come into our lives and wreak havoc, because Babylon has opened us up to all kinds of narratives, to like the negative side, by just putting it in our brains. And they flood us with so much information that they've almost drowned out our own voices and drowned out our own compass. And our compass has something to do with our attention. Anyway, let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Welcome back, family. Welcome back to Ask Dr. Mumbi. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki, sending you all the love, you know, the blessings, just good vibes wherever you are. And, you know, finish strong, family. I've also been getting a lot of emails of people asking, how long do we have? Bless up. Oh, it's a beautiful yellow bird. Hey. Beautiful. Our angels are always right around us. You know, our guardian spirits, the spirits of our ancestors, are always with us. We never walk alone, family. And don't allow the enemy to wear you out, because that's his whole purpose. Now, of course, I'm answering a question about how do we know the negative voices in our lives? How do we identify the negative spirits in our lives? And I thought it was important to first start off with, how did those negative voices, what do they look like? And it is basically voices, family. Those negative spirits are voices, are narratives that come and interfere and contaminate our own narrative. Like that's the bottom line. And that's not to confuse you, but to make you realize it's all happening here. It's all happening in the mind. And so your focus has to be on the mind. And you have a natural inner compass. There's some type of way you feel when you're dealing with good people, and there's some type of way that you feel when you're dealing with bad people. Now, Babylon has tried to keep us in situations of stress, anxiety, fear. And the reason they do that with this like negative news cycle, violent entertainment and TV shows, you know, just trauma-based education, entertainment, media, government, just everything is just about pain, suffering, anxiety, all these kind of negative emotions. And their whole purpose is to keep you in that stress level, because then you'll be in flight or fight, and it will kind of dim down your compass, family. And you know, in that fight or flight mode, you won't be able to tell who's good and who's not, because you're just in so much anxiety. So the first thing to do, family, is to quiet down your life. Dial down your life. And I've been saying this, I've been repeating this for almost 2-3 years now. Everything you want to achieve, every refinement, every gifting you want to come into, requires you first to pull away from Babylon so that you can make space for that new to come into your life. But when you quiet down your life and then you work on detoxing your body, mind, and spirit, family, and being more in your own narrative, in your own thoughts, in nature, in things that are building, when you move more into building mode, into instead of being stuck in their destruction mode, that's when you'll start to even hear your own voice clearly. And as you do that, as you're working on yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally, that's how you're growing spiritually. That's how you become a higher, spiritual being. That's how you achieve mastery. And it's easier to start that way than to try and, read all these books and achieve all these, spiritual mastery when your physical life is not changing. But as you change family, you will get a certain refinement, and that inner compass will start to come online more. And not only will you just feel, because for the basics, for anyone who is awakening right now or who is stuck in the Babylon pit of hell, there's a certain anxiety that certain people, you feel when you're around certain people. That is your spirit telling you they're no good. Either their intentions are no good, their vibe is not good, or their spirit and character is off. And anyone who brings you that kind of unease and anxiety, you need to limit your time around. Sometimes we'll ignore those signs that we get from spirit. And another sign that a spirit is bad, or a person is negative, is after your interaction with them. You'll feel drained, you'll feel thirsty, you'll feel like you're getting a headache, you'll feel like you need to take a little nap, because they have literally sapped your energy like an energy vampire. And it's the same with spirits, family. There are certain spirits you'll feel enter your realm, and it will make you uneasy. But you have the power of voice and the power of tongue to banish that spirit and tell it to leave your space. May the Most High arise in your life, and may all the enemies of your soul be crushed and banished. So you need to start to learn to listen more to your compass. When you're in the presence of a highly positive, benevolent, spiritual being, angelic realm, you will feel it, family. Hey, you will feel it. There's a bird that's just landed here. You will feel it. And sometimes the presence is so amazing that it may even make you cry. But when that happens, you feel a level of peace, a level of security. And even if anxiety has become the order of the day in your life, you'll feel a certain level of conviction. So if you can't even tell between peace and anxiety, you'll feel a conviction like, I gotta do this. You'll feel a confidence that will come in with it. And as I said, sometimes when you tap into that and you acknowledge it, it may even bring tears to your eyes because of just how elevated it is and how healing it is. So literally, family, it's as simple and basic as good spirits will always make you feel good. They'll make you feel secure. They'll make you feel convicted. Sometimes those thoughts may even sound like your own. Those great ideas, they make you feel excited. You'll feel a boost of energy. This is when they're relaying a message to you. And when you come into the presence of highly angelic beings, you may even shed a few tears of joy, family. And anyone or any spirit that is negative, the first thing you'll feel is kind of like a fear and a foreboding. That's how it starts. You'll just feel a bit off. And from there, family, is when you'll feel anxious, you'll feel afraid, you'll feel a certain level of urgency, like this needs to happen immediately. You'll feel a certain level of, if I don't do this, threatening things in your mind. Like if I don't do this, bad things will happen, or thing will happen, or I have to do this fast. The spirit of the enemy will always try and get you to act quickly, act out of fear, and act out of flight or fight, like feel like your life depends on it. You'll feel a sense of foreboding, and the uneasiness will be palpable. But you see, if you're constantly in this uneasy environment, what that will do is it will blind you to the negative, to these evil spirits, and it will make you miss those benevolent spirits, those benevolent beings, those benevolent ones that walk among you, that are here for your spiritual and physical rescue. And that's why, to be able to have any kind of discernment, to be able to move in the spirit of discernment, you have to take a step back, family, and quiet down your life so that the voice of the devil is not the constant voice that you're on, because that's what Babylon has done. They want to be the main voice in your life from the day you're born, through education, through cartoons, through movies, through the careers, through politics, through social services, through everything. They just want to constantly be that voice that is determining your direction. So try and shut out that voice. And then you'll start to be able to tell what is good and what is bad for you, what is a threat and what is a not threat. What is actually a gift or a blessing. But remember that you have that inner compass. And even if you're in the moments of despair where you're trying to move away to silence those other voices in your life, at this point in time, you can call on the compass to become more present in your life. Remember, you have a spiritual team. They're waiting for your instructions. They're waiting for you to tell them how they can help you. Trust yourself. You have to develop that trust, which means you have to become the main voice in your life. Until next time, tuko pamoja. Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.